Hey there, I'm Kathy with the Traveling Homesteader and Gyroscope Farm, and today I'm getting something for the sheeps. They're back home after a whirlwind tour in the neighborhood over the last several months, and the girls and I are going to be going to pick up some things for the sheep, and I thought I'd kind of take you along to see what we're working on for the sheep and for some other projects. So come along and see what we're doing and check out what we're going to do for the homestead today. So today's adventure is bringing us up to a town called Canby, Oregon. And that's up kind of north of where I am. And I've been looking for a watering system of sorts to help with my sheep, because where they are now at my barn, there's not really easy access to water. And so I wanted to use one of these, what I'm calling totes. They're used to carry different chemicals, different food grade items. And there's usually a semi-clear, an opaque plastic container within a metal framework. And I've been looking for these online, and they vary in prices, and I happened to find a good price for what I was looking for up in Canby. And so that's one of our projects, is to get one of these totes. I'm thinking now maybe two, one for water, one for feed and hay outside. And so I may have to think about that over the next hour or so until I get there. But the dogs and I are going to be going up there. But another project that I'm going to do today is to help with the mineral block situation that I have. And so I'm going to show you another way to get a mineral block set up for yourself, or not the actual mineral block, but something to put it in. And so, but then we may also have an opportunity to set up some other fencing to get the sheep in another spot on the farm. So that one may or may not happen. Who knows? But I thought I'd bring you along with me to also see there's a place up in Canby that is it's hard to explain. Basically, it's a really cool not refuse. Basically what they do is they take architectural items. It's an architectural salvage place, essentially. And I don't know what the exact name of it is, but we'll find out. But I love to go to this architectural salvage place when I'm up in Canby, just to see what they have, because they have some cool things. So that's kind of what we're going to do today, and we'll see how it all pans out. As we're going along, one of the places that we do class is this place on the right called Jenks Hatchery. And they are actually a really good place to get chicks for your new chickens each year. So if you get a chance, check out Jenks Hatchery. Get all sorts of great chickens and supplies that you might want on your own farm. So the girls and I are taking a little bit of a break along our path, checking things out at a park we've not been to before. This is our Architectural Salvage place we'll be coming back to after I pick up the other item. So we got our tote situated in the back. The dogs got some loves, which they were excited about. But now it's time to cart this back home and get it off the rig at home. But we're gonna go to the Aurora Architectural Salvage place that I think I showed you the outside already. And we're gonna check that out just for kicks and giggles and see what we can find there. I just like to see what people have to offer, and I like to use things in different ways, like this tote, just to see what we can find. And so I will see you in a minute at the salvage place. So here it is. I'm out adventuring, and we'll see what they have to offer. The dogs say hello. So as we get in the building, you can see that there's just all sorts of different things. They have just hung things from the ceilings, put things on the walls and shelves, and I really like it because they have signs, they have furniture, they have metalwork, they have just all sorts of things that the eye could go to. I happened to find on this day a little printing press, what they called a book press, that I had to hold off getting just because I wanted to make sure I got some other things as well. So it is the next day, but another stop along the way I made on my trip was to a nursery where I got some, these are some actually golden raspberry plants. I want to say that the name is, so the name on these plants you can see are Raspberry Fall Gold, and they're everbearing, and for me they were $9.95. And so those are some nice little plants that I thought were kind of pleasant to have for my garden. And I got some strawberry starts. Now this is the bundle of bundles. But yeah, so these are my strawberries that this particular variety is called Tillamook strawberry, and they are an everbearing. Are they a June bearing? I believe they're a June bearing, and there is a difference between the June bearing and everbearing. But these looked like they were healthy plants, and they would be good to add to my garden because I need more strawberries. And then because of my blueberry plants, I wanted to have this acid mix that were specific to blueberries. And so this is one of those things I needed to go and make some rounds yesterday. So stopping at the nursery was a real help. And then you can see it possibly, you can see the tote over there in my truck. It's still there in my truck that I got to wash out and put down for the sheep. But the next job is to do some holes in some pots for some plants and for the sheep. I actually have a mineral block that I'm going to do in a container for my sheep down at the barn. So that's next. Okay, so now that we're inside, this is what we're going to work on next. As you can see, I have two different size totes here. Both are mineral block dispensers. Basically, someone was recycling these. A friend of mine has some cows, and she gets mineral supplements in each of these for her cows. And she had several of these left over because the cows had done their job by eating. And I said, I'll take those, and I'm actually going to use this one for my sheep mineral block, and I'm going to use this one for a planter. I'm going to use it for my potted garden. And I have two of this variety and two of this one, so I'll be kind of using them both for things. This one will be for the sheep. The other one like it will be for a plant I have. I'm going to be using both of these to transplant some lilacs I have, or actually a lilac. Yes, 2 lilacs. I have some things I want to transplant, and my 2 lilacs have grown out of their pots, and I want them to be able to grow. So this one would be a better fit. But for right now, I'm just going to take my handy dandy screw gun and screw some holes in them. But the other thing I wanted to point out is with the tote that we just got, I basically am going to convert it I'm going to convert slightly. Basically, I'm going to incorporate this spout into it so I can have a hose go in. And so there's a part I need to get that I may picture here. And then this will go into that, and then I can use this and use it as a spout instead of what's already on there. But instead of just taking that whole part out, I can just add on to it and then add this. So that's where that tote's going to go, and that's going to also go down to the sheep. But for right now, let's get this going and make sure we can get this job done. So I'm going to choose my biggest, I don't want to say bolt, my biggest tool. And then I'm just going to put holes in the bottom and the side of my pots here to allow water out. Now, in the case of my smaller pot here, I'm putting holes in this one so that the water doesn't hold up in the middle and basically disintegrate the water block or the mineral block that I have. And so I'm just gonna put holes in the bottom and then probably some on the side just to help with irrigation or to help that way too. And I'm gonna do the same for the larger one, but I'm gonna put holes a little higher up on here as well as in the bottom, because in both cases I don't want water to be standing in the bottom of the containers. So here we go. And this is really simple. I mean, you kind of can't get any easier than this for DIY. And we'll put 2 more. And last hole for the round. And that was actually rather quick. So now we'll just do some holes on the bottom to help some water go out the bottom. And that way I don't have to worry about my my mineral block and this getting all sorts of gummed up. And plus when I do clean it, it'll be easier to clean out with the holes and not having to dump around some things. There we go. There is our handy dandy mineral block supplement box, all done and cared for. And so you can see this one is just, it has some extra junk. I shouldn't say extra junk, but just extras from the mineral block that was in there. But now I'm just going to do the same thing to this one and the 2 other ones that I have, so that way I can use them for all my plants that I need to, and my mineral block. So thank goodness for small favors that this is an easy job today. So with that in mind, I'm going to finish this up in just here in a second, but I wanted to thank you for stopping on by and checking out the Traveling Homesteader today and kind of seeing what we did. And hopefully you're setting yourself up for some fun new projects that are easy peasy and that will help you be able to grow some things or use things in different ways that maybe you hadn't thought of before. Like with the tote that we just got, that I'm reusing something from a commercial setup. Tote was used initially for a cleaning solution, and now I'm going to reuse it for a water source. But you can also use that sort of thing for like a feeding situation or holding wood or any number of other things that you can find out how to use it. And for me, I shopped around for that, and it was cheaper for me to get it at $50 taking a bit of a drive than it was to get it even local. And it enabled me to kind of go see a different place in the Architectural Salvage. But also, like with these, I was able to make friends with a neighbor, and she was throwing these away. Now I can reuse them for other things. In my case, the mineral block and gardening. And so you can find any number of things to reuse and use them in a way that suits you and what you're going to be doing with your situation. So thanks again for stopping by, and here's to reusing different things. And I hope you enjoy and have a great spring. It seems as though the salt block or it seems as though the mineral block job is a success. The sheep are saying please and thank you.